Hello. I really want to answer kind of a lot of questions with a quick video, if I may. When you talk about martial art in particular, or you're asking, does this art do good in this situation versus this art? Well, that's a hard question to answer because are you talking about how this guy teaches it or how that guy teaches it? Someone asked me, well, do you think karate would be a good art for street fight? Well, if you look at how some people teach it, it's good. It's as good as any other art for that. If you look at how many times it's marketed for mass marketing, or what we call karate for kids, that whole organization or school or group of schools may not be what you're looking for. That being said, if you went to, say, an art that is street fighter oriented, it's street fighting is what they do. They're JKD or even say Krav Maga, right? They're a self-defense art or street fighting art, but that widely varies between how one instructor will teach it and how another instructor will teach it, or one organization or group of instructors versus one organization or group of instructors. It's going to be vastly different. There's a Krav Maga group not far from where I work here. And they're more like it's a boot camp for soccer moms. It's great. That's what you want to do. I don't know if that would be pleasing to the people who founded that structure, but there's a whole number of those schools all over the place. I don't know around the world, but all over the place. That's a generalization of that. But there's another group, well, they just kind of get together and they're training to fight. In many situations, it's a lot of situational training and a lot of basic physical training and awareness training, okay? Now, JKD, the same thing. You have people who just kind of mix Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai, and they call it like JKD/MMA. That's fine, but that's not what you're looking for if you're doing a street-oriented program. Not saying it won't work in the street, it's just oriented toward more of a kind of a sport mentality. Whereas if you go to another JKD guy, may well be teaching in his backyard or in a garage or some warehouse like that. He might have a more street-oriented program, but it's not published or publicly available. You might have to know somebody who goes there to find it, okay? And then you have organizations who do, Eskrima, Kali, Arnis, which is really for sport. And then you have some that do it for recreation. And you have some that do it, they just want to fight, they just want to spar. They don't even really have a training regime. They just kind of put the gear on and go after it. Battlefield Kali, that's another way to do that. That's nothing wrong with that, but when you're asking about, does this martial art do this? Does this martial art do that? That's a really loaded question because you cannot apply that generically. Which is the best one for competing? Well, then you need to go and look at schools that have competitive programs and assess it based on that, not based on the name or the logo or whatever it is you want to do. It needs to be not by art, but by instructor and maybe even organization. You could say, well, this organization of Thai boxers has a lot of champions. This organization of Thai boxers, they don't even compete. Then if you want to compete, you probably go to the one. If you want recreation, go to the other. And there's nothing wrong with either one of them. People need to have a recreational activity that is, gives them some sense of fitness training, some sense of, belonging to a group and identity. Sometimes that helps people psychologically. And you have other groups, like mine, who really, we look into the traditional martial arts for many things, including the ability to handle ourselves in a violent encounter. But we don't focus solely on that. I mean, we are also looking at how to develop ourselves as a human being. So you're going to have different things, and that's according to the desire of the student. If you don't want to hear it, just train. I mean, just train, find a good place to train. And if you research your instructor enough, you'll find out if that's what you want. That's why we usually give a person a chance to try the class and see if they like it. I'll tell you, even then, even if you took 3 months, you don't really know the school yet, because it depends on who your training partner is that day, what kind of experience you're going to have. It really does. Okay? That's what I was going to say about that, Forrest.